With respect to the foundation, I am very proud of the work the foundation does. I'm very proud of the hundreds of thousands of people who support the work of the foundation and the results that have been achieved for people here at home and around the world. I think that we are very clear about where we stand, certainly where I stand on all of these issues. There can't be any mistake about my passion concerning women's rights here at home and around the world.
Well, except maybe I can't see some of those emails. That was Hillary Clinton responding to a question from our own Andrea Mitchell yesterday. And Andrea joins us now, along with editor-in-chief of BuzzFeed, Ben Smith, who also attended the Clinton news conference. So she was answering your question there. And what did you make of...
Well, the other question I had asked was, why are you the person to decide which gets deleted and what doesn't? Because this is the first time we had heard from her directly that she had deleted 30,000 emails.
Did that surprise you, or what did you think?
That did surprise me, but then I got to say, as Mark Halpern was pointing out, there is in the federal manual that you, as a federal employee, make the decision of what's work-related and what is not.
But that's if you're using the server.
Well, her explanation for that is that anything that was sent to a government colleague, she then forwarded on for archival purposes. I mean, that's her explanation. That's what she said.
Is that how it was supposed to be done?
That's not the way.
Exactly.
That's not the way.
Joining us from Capitol Hill, member of both Armed Services and Foreign Relations Committees.
That's more Matlock.
I don't want your head to explode
have your
next
hat.
to me, okay?
Is that the way it's
I know
done?
what you're thinking.
No, thank you, Your Honor.
Let's go for the questions.
Go for the questions. Let's go to Tim Kaine.
Democratic Senator Tim Kaine of Virginia.
Hey, guys.
All right.
Hey, Tim, we've got a lot to cover here. I really, just stay with me for 1 second. I want to follow up really quickly with Andrea. Andrea, though, there's a question about Saudi Arabia, taking money from Saudi Arabia, a country that has a deplorable record when it comes to women's rights. That question was asked, and what was her response there?
Well, that she will stand on the, her record for women's rights, certainly a very laudable record. She is a hero to the women's movement, as she was yesterday in that UN leadership conference. But she has not explained, none of the Clintons have explained, the disparity, the conflict between the money they take for the foundation from these countries. I mean, Bill Clinton was asked about it in Miami and said, we do good things, and what he said was that disclosure is what's important. The public can decide because we disclose all of our contributors.
And I think it's not totally clear in those emails whether social correspondence with foreign leaders when you're Secretary of State, is that work or is that personal?
Other favors?
Does that get deleted or not?
Yeah. And the favors, what quid pro quos, is the foundation personal?
Oh, but now you're making up stuff.
Is the foundation public? No, I mean, none of us know the answers to these questions. If she decides, if somebody sends her something saying, hey, we want to give you $200,000, the Clinton Foundation $200,000, and oh, by the way, could the State Department, could you come visit us next year? She might delete that and say, well, it's personal. But we don't know, right?
Yeah, I mean, that is really the thing about the deletions. I mean, they just made a decision like that no one will ever know. And they also, one thing that was sort of odd in the press conference is that she treated it as though retaining the emails would have been a choice, and they chose not to retain them. No, you have immediate. I mean, emails stay unless you decide to delete them.
Tim Kaine, can you help explain the deleted emails and how we're supposed to just let that go?
Well, guys, I didn't watch the press conference yesterday because we had a Foreign Relations Committee meeting. You might have heard we're doing some stuff on Iran and ISIL up here, but I've read the accounts of it. And look, everybody has personal emails, and personal emails aren't covered. And yes, folks make the determination about what's personal, what's business. The Secretary has said, I'm releasing all official emails. My understanding is the State Department's doing that review, and they'll be out. And that's what she should do, and that's what will be done.
So I'm just wondering, if you were President of the United States, would you have your Secretary of State operate on email the way Hillary Clinton did, and would that be appropriate? And
I think that's a fair question, Meek, and I think the Secretary said yesterday, hey, looking back on it, yeah, I might have done it differently. I wanted to just have one source of emails, not multiple devices, etc., and I can understand that for convenience purposes.
Yeah, but we know this isn't her first rodeo. So you,
and
as
also,
President,
if there's
would you allow things to operate
and especially if you had regulations saying that in 2009 that you always had to back up everything in real time on the servers.
Right. And the question is, I mean, I think she is saying that she has backed up everything by always sending to a Gov account any official business email, even emails that were through the personal server. But look, she said yesterday, looking back on it, yeah, I might have done it differently. And I think going forward, folks will take this to heart.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I think that isn't. I think she's saying that the ones that happen to have been sent to .gov accounts are backed up, but not others. Senator, one question I had was, you worked very hard for Senator Barack Obama in 2008, and that was a campaign that was, really largely run against Hillary Clinton on the questions of trust, and that was the campaign you were part of. And I wonder if you think that raises those issues again, or if you think she's answered questions people like you had in 2008.
Well, my issue for supporting President Obama didn't have anything to do with a trust issue with at that point, Senator Clinton. They were both superbly qualified candidates. We had a very difficult nominating process where, we had two strong candidates to choose between, and I had a close personal relationship with Senator Obama at the time, which I did not with Senator Clinton. So it wasn't a trust issue at all that caused me to choose Senator Obama to support in 2008. And as you know, I've come out and as of last May, I think, to urge Secretary Clinton to run for president because I think her track record and background makes her superbly qualified to do the job that Americans would demand of her.
Mike Barnacle's here and he's got a question for you. Mike.
Senator Kaine, as I'm sure you know, 47 Republican senators have made an effort to establish a pen pal relationship with the Ayatollah in Tehran, but it's been focused here, the coverage of it is focused here domestically, politically, the impact on the Senate and the country. But there are 5 other countries involved in these negotiations: Russia, China, United Kingdom, France. What impact does it have on those countries, our allies, this letter, and what impact does it have on Iran's increasingly military appetite within Iraq, do you think?
Well, Mike, that's a great question because here's the deal. Right now we're in the final phase of these negotiations, and no one should be trying to tank or screw around with these negotiations. If there is an ultimate deal, the President is going to put that on table in Congress. Senator Corker and I and 12 of our colleagues, bipartisan, have proposed a deliberate and bipartisan review of any deal, should there be a deal. And I think that bill will enable us to look at this in a careful way. But your question is about this. What if there's no deal? If there's no deal, this letter just gives Iran the perfect excuse. We were trying to negotiate in good faith, and then a whole bunch of the Senate tried to tank negotiations. And compliance with the sanctions that have hurt Iranian economy, while the U.S. enacted the sanctions bite because other nations voluntarily comply with them. If they think the U.S. has messed up the negotiation through something like this, then they may start backing away and not following the sanctions, buying oil from Iran and saying, look, we tried to get a diplomatic deal, but the U.S. didn't want a negotiated outcome. The U.S. should always be for diplomacy. We should exhaust diplomatic efforts, and that's why the letter was such a poor strategy, and that's why the Corker approach is the right way. Wait till there's a deal, and then we can weigh in and say what we think about it.
Andrea Mitchell.
I just wanted to ask you, as a former Democratic National Chairman, whether you think that Democrats are going to worry, those who have supported Hillary Clinton, those who assumed she'd be the nominee, worry that more stuff is going to come out, that this is going to become a pattern, that she's not ready for the rough and tumble of the campaign?
Well, Democrats all know that there will be a million issues that will come up during the campaign, whether it's Secretary Clinton or anybody else. That's the way modern presidential or senatorial campaigning is these days. But I think she, by all accounts, again, I didn't watch the press conference yesterday because we had a hearing, but by all accounts, I think folks said she did a solid job. She's addressed this question. Will people have more questions? Sure, they will. But from what I hear yesterday, she, did what she needed to do.
Senator Kaine, it's Willie Guy.